Okay, this is the starter.
This is the sourdough starter. So I'm taking out what I don't want in the discard. I'm
Just
getting rid of some, making a bit of room. Make sure you leave a little bit of amount there though. And
yeah, so you got a lot. You got more than an inch left in there. You got a lot.
yeah, I mean you don't have to get rid of any.
He's got the line here,
Depends
so
how
you can
much,
see he's still got a lot in there.
yeah, depends how much you want for your feed. And then I measure out. I usually do about 1/3 of a cup of flour. Again, it depends how much starter you need for your bread. 1/3 of a cup of flour.
And we use the spring water.
Spring water I use.
Because we don't have filtered water here.
So, and then 1/4 of a cup of water. So 1/3 a cup of flour, plain flour, about 1/4 of a cup of water. And I just use the end of a spoon and mix it around till it. They say the faster you stir it, it gets more air into it.
Yeah, so stir it nice and fast so you can get some good air bubbles in there.
You don't have to mix it all in too much because it does its thing in there with the bubbles and that's all really.
That's it. Don't overmix it.
Don't overmix it, and I just clean the sides down a bit so I can. You probably don't have to because it rises anyway.
Yes.
And if you want to mark it with a rubber band, put a rubber band on there or draw a line like I do so you know when it's doubled. When it's doubled you can use it. Or you discard again and refeed it again.
Alright, that's step 1. So when are you going to use this to make bread?
I'll feed it again probably first thing in the morning and then I'll make some bread about lunchtime tomorrow.
Alright, so you're going to give it 2 feeds. You're going to feed it twice.
I'll feed it twice before I use it.
So today is
feed one.
Thursday at 4 o'clock. He's feeding it once. And then he's going to feed it tomorrow morning, Friday morning.
First thing.
And then he'll make the bread at lunchtime.
If it's doubled in size.
And then he'll leave it to prove. And I'll video that part.
Yep.
Alright, so now Michael's going to make up the bread. He gave some more food to the starter this morning. And he did some last night. So he took some out, put it in again this morning. And it's come up. Almost halfway. And I don't know if you can see the bubbles. So we know it's ready to make the bread. Alright, off you go, Michael.
Alright, so first thing I have to warm the water up slightly. We want the water lukewarm. So I'm going to do about I have to weigh the water. I'm going to do about 360 grams I should say, of water.
So he's just weighing that here on the scales. As he puts the water in, it will tell him. So
not too much.
Not too much. We're going to take some out now. Alright, so what was it? 360. 360, so we just take some out.
Yeah, and when I pour it in, I'll reweigh it anyway, so I'm just going
so he's just going to
warm it up slightly.
Warm it up, not for long.
I put the stove on before, just to warm the element. Now I've turned it off, so it's just going to warm slowly.
So it's off, but this is already hot from before, so only a couple of minutes, just so the water's not really cold.
Okay.
So next,
flour. Got to mix the flour up.
He's going to do 2 different flours, are you?
I'm going to end up with a bit of semolina.
All right.
So I'm going to re-zero this for the bowl, so it's 0 to start with.
Okay.
I'm going to put my little bits in first. So I need a total of 500 grams of flour.
All right. So
I'm going to put in maybe 30 wholemeal and 20 semolina, maybe.
All right. So we're going to mix 30 of wholemeal.
Round about, yep. And then 20 of semolina.
And semolina.
Just have to get to a total of 500 altogether.
So 20 grams of that. So now he's got 50 grams altogether. You can use any flours, mix it around.
Now I want to get this to a total of 500 altogether.
So we've got to get to 500. So he needs 450 grams of this flour. So when the scales
it's 500.
Says 500. then we know he's got enough flour in there. So this is just the normal
This is
strong
your normal,
flour?
the strong chef's flour, yeah.
Yeah.
The caputo.
capoto.
Yep.
Yes.
Make it 503, but that's okay. And I'm also going to put in 3 different seed mix.
Alright, so he's got some
Sesame, poppy and sunflower seeds.
Yeah, so he's going to put that in the bread.
Just a bit of a mixture, not, I
Yeah,
don't know how much.
you don't have to.
Yeah.
So we like it with these seeds. Makes it more healthy, more nutritious.
And then we'll just mix it up a bit.
Mix that.
Just to get ready. That's going to get poured into the water anyway when we do the water. I better check the water because it could be too hot already.
Oh yeah, we forgot about the water.
That's okay, it's lukewarm, so that's probably good.
Good, yep.
Alright, so next.
Now here, you put
This
another bowl.
back to 0.
Puts that back to 0.
And now I can make sure I get my 360 grams of water, but if you go a bit more, a bit less, it doesn't really matter so much. It's just a wetter dough and it probably rise a bit more maybe.
Yes, so this mix needs to be more wet than dry. It's not a dry.
366 is near enough.
Alright.
Yeah. So now I have to measure in my starter, 100,
Alright.
150 grams of starter. So I'm going to put this back to 0 again.
Yep. And it
There it is.
adds 150 grams.
Again, it doesn't matter, a little bit more, a little bit less, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Way too much. Oh no, 166.
That's good.
Alright. 166, near enough. And we have to mix this up
You
together.
mix that up with the
Mix it up with the water.
water. Remember, this bread mix is more a wet dough mix. It doesn't work when it's too dry, this mix.
You can do it with water that's not warm, but I'm finding it works better with slightly warm water.
It helps activate
Activate the starter a bit
starter.
quicker, yeah. Good. So that's near enough, looks like milk.
Yeah, it does.
Ah, one thing I forgot, the salt. 10 grams of salt, okay?
Yep, 10
That
grams
goes
of salt.
in the dry mix, I've already weighed that out. So
Yeah.
we'll put that in with the flour.
Yes, and then
Nearly
just mix
forgot
that.
that.
Jeez,
Just mix that.
lucky we saw that.
It's through.
That's it.
And then we'll put the flour
You
in
put the dry into the wet
into
mix.
the wet. Again, if we do it the other way around, it probably doesn't matter. And I'm going to do it with my hand, the old-fashioned way, eh?
That's
Get
it.
my hand nice and dirty. Only using one hand, of course. Got to keep the other one clean. That's a nice wet mix, this one.
So you can probably hear nice and wet.
Nice wet mix. We just got to combine all the ingredients. We don't have to mix it really well, but we're doing our stretch and folds after.
So this way, this method is a very old-fashioned way where you don't have to knead the dough. All you got to do is mix it all together, let it stay nice and wet and sticky,
And that's all we do. We can just leave
and that
it
is
like that.
it for now.
So we leave it for half an hour, then we're going to do stretch and fold. So we're just going to cover it with a tea towel.
Yeah, so we cover that with a tea towel now for half an hour, and we'll come back and show you this way, this method of stretching and folding instead of kneading. Okay.